Good evening.
It's my duty to report to you tonight on the progress that we have made in our relations with other nations.
We can teach these barbarians a lesson in Western methods and efficiency that will put them to shame. We'll show them what the British soldier is capable of doing.
Terminate with extreme prejudice.
I'm pleased to tell you today
Our military is powerful, and it's prepared.
Unaccountable power.
Detect between the lines.
Allied air forces began an attack. Now, our objectives are clear. Destroy.
By joint agreement.
The functions of our government continue without interruption.
Political power of the masses.
Independent. People who are independent disrupt the system.
Independent.
independent.
No, before this victory's won, some will have to get thrown in jail, some more. Even some will have to face physical death. To free their children from a permanent psychological death, then nothing shall be more redemptive. Before the victory's won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and
agitators. The Greek culture begins Western civilization, but Western civilization means domination.
Show me what democracy looks like! Cairo's what democracy looks like!
I heard him say the revolution won't be televised. Al Jazeera proved him wrong. Twitter has him paralyzed. 80 million strong and ain't no longer gonna be terrorized. Organized, mobilized, vocalized. On the side of truth, the Medunya's living proof that it's a matter of time for the chickens home to roost. Bouazizi lit the hoop, and it slowly ignited the fire within Arab people to fight it. From Tunis to Khan Yunis, the new moon shines bright as the man's spoon was as mass as the man writes in the spell rumors of disunity, communally removing the tumors. Rotten hukumas, we're making headway, chanting down the dictators, getting rid of dead weight, opening the floodgates like the streets of Jeddah. بوابة الثورة مفتوحة وما بنسد. We've been empowered to speak, and though the future is uncertain, man, at least it isn't bleak. When our children can be raised not in a cage but on a peak, the inheritors of Mother Earth are meek. Freedom isn't given by oppressors, it's demanded by oppressed. Freedom lovers, freedom fighters, free to gather and protest.
Lovely demo, democracy, right?
Egyptian people rock. Today they prove they are amazing. And it was not only a victory for the Egyptian people, but also for the Arab people and also for all of humanity. Today was a victory for freedom, for human rights, for peace, for power to the people. We have the power. Just gonna tell you what it says. It says, كلنا إيد واحدة طلبنا حاجة واحدة. And what it means is, all of us in one hand, all of us, our hands together, we demanded one thing: the dismantlement of the regime. Please, please, please. And this is the song they've been playing in Tahrir Square the past, what is it, 17 days now? So we're gonna sing it together now, right? Okay, here we go.
We deserve the opportunity to be Americans. We deserve liberty. We deserve justice. And we deserve to have a safe place to live, to not experience racial profiling, to not experience being prejudiced against, to not experience discrimination and being considered a criminal based on how we look, because we're here because we have an inalienable right to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice, the pursuit of happiness. And if God were here today, and He is, He would stand and say, treat my people with justice. He would say, like Moses told Pharaoh, let my people go. Allow them to be who they were created to be.
Jamás será vencido. Pueblo unido jamás será vencido. No somos uno, no somos 100, somos un chingo y cuéntanos bien. No somos uno, no somos 100, somos un chingo y cuéntanos bien.
Se ve, se siente, el pueblo está presente.
que queremos? ¿Cuándo la queremos? Perry, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Perry, escucha, estamos en la lucha.
It's time that we let our voices be heard. It's time we let the legislature know that we're sick and tired of them ignoring the people of this state and the workers of this state for the benefit of a few who also happen to be the largest campaign contributors.
Y cuando realmente trabajamos para este país y estamos bien, somos queridos, pero cuando ya realmente no les servimos, somos hechos a un lado.
We're here to honor the fallen with our action. That's what it's going to take to make a difference, so we don't have to keep having days of the fallen here in Texas.
¿Qué queremos?
¡Justicia!
¿Cuándo?
¡Ahora!
¿Qué queremos?
¡Justicia!
¿Cuándo?
¡Ahora!
When do we want it?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Okay, let's go.
Texas is the most dangerous place to work in construction. The year before last, 138 people died on the job. That is a statistic that belongs in the 19th century, not the 21st century.
You better listen, my sisters and brothers, 'cause if you do, you can't hear. There are voices still calling on across the years, and they're all crying across the ocean, crying across the land, and they will till we all come to understand. None of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. And there are people still in darkness, and they just can't see the light. If you don't say it's wrong, then that says it's right. We gotta feel for each other, let our brothers know that we care. Got to get the message, send it out loud and clear. None of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. 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 If one of us is chained, none of us are free. None of us are free.
Democracy looks like.
We must not undermine our economy, and we should never paper over mismanagement with pink slips for great school teachers and public servants who the crisis is a disaster, but it's not entirely a natural disaster. Why are the priorities of those in control at the Capitol so different than the priorities of Texans?
The people united, we never be divided. The people united, we never be divided.
I want to stop tyranny as much as I can, and I'm here in the response to Adam Kokesh being arrested last Saturday at the Jefferson Memorial. That's why I'm here.
And you turned your back to him and allowed him to get away. But let me, can I just tell you what I was going to do?
Look, if you don't mind, do not videotape this.
Am I not allowed to videotape?
You know.
All you want. They don't know their First Amendment rights. Yeah, it's a taxpayer-funded area, man.
Freedom of the press?
I believe so.
Come back this way.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your badge number, sir?
Please tell him that you guys want to go after me.
Can you believe this? He's grabbing my arm, pulling me for no reason. For no reason. No. Can you film it, sir?
Hey, give me a supervisor over here. This guy's getting out of hand. Look.
It's a public area. This is our capital, not yours. You don't run this show. Why was he doing that? What?
He just grabbed me.
Just because you were filming him?
Yeah.
It's your right. Yeah, I saw it.
I tried to tell me I couldn't film him. Of course, I did. You did the proper thing in that case. You ignore it.
That cop right there just tried to detain me for no reason.
Man, that was messed up. He tried to kick me out of the Capitol. I'm like, this is my Capitol, you know? You can't kick us out just because we disagree with what you think is right, you know? It's bullshit. These cops don't know their rights. They don't know the rights from their ass. And they need to actually study the Constitution if they're going to be in a public office. I mean, that's just goes without saying, you know? I don't work in a job position unless I know the duties of the job. And that's like duty number one is know the citizens' rights. They can't put your arm behind your back for having a camera, and they can't kick me out for agreeing with you that you have the right to do it.
This letter is to the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Dear Mr. Obama, we are writing to inform you that 50 unarmed Americans will soon be sailing in a U.S. flagship called the Audacity of Hope as part of an international flotilla to Gaza. Our peaceful demonstration will challenge Israel's blockade of Gaza, which has effectively imprisoned 1.6 million civilians, almost half of whom are under the age of 16. The blockade has impoverished the people of Gaza, deprived them of the need of materials and supplies to the ill and infirm from seeking outside medical aid, and prevented students from seeking education outside of Gaza. 45% of the working age of population is unemployed in the Gaza Strip. In addition to 36 passengers, 4 crew, 10 members of the press, our boat will carry thousands of letters of support and friendship from people throughout the U.S. to the women, children, and men of Gaza. There will be no weapons of any sort on board this ship. We will carry no goods of any kind for delivery in Gaza. Our mission is from the American civil society to the civil society of Gaza. We do not serve the agenda of any political leadership, government, or group. We're engaged solely in non-violent action in support of the Palestinian people and their human rights. In our country's great tradition of citizen activists taking non-violent action to stand up for injustice, we sail in the hope that our voyage will show the people in Gaza that they are not alone, that it will call attention to the morally and legally indefensible collective punishment of a population of civilians. Mr. President, you have noted the unsustainability of the Gaza blockade, and your administration has spoken boldly in support of peaceful demonstrations throughout this Arab Spring. As U.S. citizens, we expect our country and its leaders to help ensure the flotilla's safe passage to Gaza, as our country should support our humanitarian demand that the Gaza blockade be lifted. This should begin by notifying the Israeli government in clear and certain terms that it may not physically interfere with the upcoming flotilla, of which the U.S. boat, the Audacity of Hope, is part. We, authors, builders, firefighters, lawyers, social workers, retirees, Holocaust survivors, former government employees, and more expect no less from our President and your administration. Our boat will sail from the Eastern Mediterranean the last week of June. We shall be grateful to you for acting promptly and decisively to uphold the rights of civilians for safe passage on the seas. Sincerely, the passengers of the Audacity of Hope.
Stop domination! Stop exploitation! Stop domination! Stop exploitation!
Stop domination! Stop exploitation! Stop domination! Stop exploitation! Stop domination! Stop exploitation!
We're here because Larry Flynt is speaking tonight at Book People, and Larry Flynt really represents misogyny, domination, exploitation of women, racism, homophobia, really lots of things that I strongly disagree with. He's become a billionaire off of creating materials that depict incredibly violent and demeaning sexualization of women, also the sexualization of children. And I extremely oppose his message and really feel like he's made himself a spokesperson for an industry that has gotten rich off of creating violence, encouraging violence against women, encouraging violence against children, has direct links to sexual violence and rape, has direct links to child pornography and child molestation, and we're here to say that we don't agree and we're here to boycott him.
¿Qué es lo que queremos? ¡Justicia! ¿Cuándo? ¡Ahora!
Every person has the right to be paid. Doesn't matter their immigration status. We want respectful conditions and safe working conditions. That's why we're here. We demand our respect as workers. And thank you very much for being with us today in this fight. We're going to win today, but we're going to keep fighting against the injustice.
We're going to walk across the street, and we're going to go tell Holiday Inn that we want justice, and we want it now! ¡Esto que queremos! ¡Cuándo! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! We're here to continue in standing in workers' rights, and we're not going to go anywhere until we see every single worker paid. Woo!
express our grave concern and disappointment for their not making sure that workers are justly compensated for the work that they did here on this project.
Y'all are going to have to leave right now. You're trespassing on private property.
Oh, we're just here to deliver a letter to you. We'd like to the general manager, Jeff Erickson. We're just here to deliver the letter. Is Jeff Erickson here?
I'm here.
Oh, wonderful.
Hi.
Edward Garcia, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances, but I'm glad you're willing to receive the letter and to understand the situation that the workers are in. And we want to respect your position as well.
Absolutely.
We know that you're in a very difficult position. You're not probably the one that's making the decisions, but you have influence. And we want you to consider that influence and use it for the rights of those workers who were not paid.
Okay.
Have you got any action that you're thinking of taking?
Again, it's out of my hands. There's no comment from our end. It's all complicated, and so.
Yeah. And what we would hate is for bad press to get out about such a beautiful place like this.
Absolutely.
And we want you to celebrate this beautiful place. People are enjoying it, but celebrate it feeling that you've done the right thing.
Absolutely.
And that God is going to bless your business.
Absolutely.
Necesitamos que nos paguen, necesitamos nuestro pago. Trabajamos cuando cargamos las cosas con nieve y con hielo, y pues para que no nos paguen, pues como que no. I got a family, baby, you know.
No, I understand, and like I said, it's the process is, we're going through the process, they're going through the process. It's out of our hands from a standpoint of what's going on.
And I understand your position, and we have heard you repeat many times that it is out of your hands, but at the same time, we would really like for you and your business to step up and take responsibility, because we've been in very friendly negotiations with the general contractor throughout this whole process, and we'd really look to work with you in order to resolve this as soon as possible, because it's just not right that they worked here and they didn't get paid. And Holiday Inn, being an international company making billions of dollars in profit, it's just not fair that the workers at the bottom, working families, didn't get compensated. Okay. So can you bring this to your higher ups and get this settled by next week?
Like I said, I have no comment on that. I have no comment on that.
Cuando la queremos, ahora, ahora, ¿qué es lo que queremos? Justicia, justicia. Y cuando la
continue to make money, if they want to continue to be successful, they are going to have to cooperate. Amen. Dios quiere justicia. God wants justice. Lo que queremos nosotros es justicia. ¿Y cuándo la queremos? Ahora lo que va a pasar es que ya que hemos tomado este paso, now that we have taken this step, está en las manos de ellos, it's in their hands. Pero eso no quiere decir que nosotros nos vamos a dormir, but we're not going to go to sleep. Vamos a seguir siendo un aguijón en el lado de este lugar. We're going to continue to be a thorn in the side hasta que hay una acción, justicia para los laboradores. We're going to continue to take action until justice is done for the workers.
I'm mad at the super rich for only wanting to get super richer without caring what happens to our country and our world and the people that live in our world.
I guess, yeah, a lot of people do criticize this whole Occupy protest thing because it's not, they don't feel it's centered enough, or they don't feel it's focused enough on one specific thing. But perhaps that's, you know, a specific thing. It's just that this is supposed to be, you know, a representative nation, and most people just don't feel represented.
What I want's real clear. It needs to start with comprehensive campaign finance reform so that corporations aren't buying our government.
It is a protest against the establishment, against Wall Street and corporate America and their dominance in both political parties, and I emphasize the word both.
I think that the economy is the main reason why we're here.
My name is Karina. I'm here because I wanted to stand with my brothers and sisters from Austin while we're standing with our brothers and sisters in Wall Street. I'm really concerned about the future for my children. I have a 6 and a 4-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, and they're awesomely creative, but I really honestly don't know if I'm going to have the money to send them to college to get an education. I'm still paying my student loan, and I don't see even paying it off in the next 10 years.
What brings me out here today, these guys are crooks, man. They've stolen our homes, they've stolen our pensions, and we're trying to take them back. They've stolen everything we've got. We're not giving them anything else.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out. Banks got bailed out.
We got sold out. Banks got bailed out. We got sold out.
It's a beautiful day for democracy. Mic check.
Mic check.
This movement is about democracy.
It's about democracy.
We demand that the government be truly responsive to those it represents. We demand an end to the massive corporate influence blocking the voice of the people. By eliminating corporate personhood. And limiting monetary contributions. To political campaigns and lobbying. This movement is about economic security. We demand effective reforms to prevent banks and financial institutions from causing future economic crisis. This movement is about corporate responsibility. We demand strict repercussions. For corporations and institutions. Who cause serious financial damage. To our country and taxpayers.
Banks got bailed out. We got sold out.
I'm closing my account because banks answer to shareholders for profit only. They're managing our economy and our money in a way that benefits only the few and the top 1%, which we see by the great income inequality across this nation, greater than since the time of the Great Depression. It's time for change, and that's what we're here for.
Power to people, not corporations!
It's really easy to be tempted to listen to the powerful about who is to blame, who the enemy is, and who we should be scared of. We've been hearing year after year that it's immigrants that should be blamed, and that we should ignore the fact they look and sound just like our brothers and sisters, just like our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. Or we're told to blame labor unions and to ignore the fact that they've been fighting tooth and nail decade after decade for our brothers and sisters and for our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents. Or to blame working class people and to ignore the fact that the bounty of our city and our country have been built on their backs for little and sometimes for no pay at all. And we're told this story and expected to buy it. And our compliance is built on this fear and on this story. And even though I was somewhat skeptical of this movement, as it began, I've started to see the faces and the people come out, and say that we aren't buying anymore and that we aren't scared. Are you guys scared?
No! Occupy Austin! We are all Oakland! We are all Oakland! We are all Oakland! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
Now my job is helping out at Under the Hood Cafe, a pro-soldier, anti-war coffee house, located right outside the base. Today, 100 of the veterans of the 99% and Iraq Veterans Against the War marched at Occupy Wall Street. What is the significance of this? That veterans are taking notice. They went to war and did not just confront an enemy, but corporations.
Yep.
We call them contractors. It even sounds nicer. In reality, they are multi-billion-dollar corporations. Who pays the bills? We do, the 99%.
Yep.
Who dies from war profiteers? Soldiers do. What do soldiers receive when they come home from war? The highest rate of unemployment, homelessness, and suicide rate in the country.
My name is Bernardino Lucian Villaseñor, senior at the University of Texas. Last Sunday, 37 of my friends and myself were arrested while we were peacefully assembling. I explained to the police officers, with my pocket constitution in hand, we have the right to be here. This is protected under the First Amendment. Moments later, I was zip-tied and put on a bus on the way to jail. While I was being frisked, an officer asked me, "You're one of those Occupy guys, right?" I said, "I guess." "And you're all out there because you're against corporate greed, right?" I said, "I'm out there because we students are sold a lie. We grow up hearing, go to college, take out all the loans you need. There'll be a great job waiting for you when you get out. The truth is that reality doesn't exist. The police as an institution will always be opposed to our goals because their purpose is to maintain the status quo. They don't solve the actual sources of crime, such as poverty, mental health, domestic violence, racism, sexism, etc. The role of the police in this capitalist system is to maintain the inequalities of class and wealth and justice.
There's a little saying we have in the labor movement, it's like a pencil. You can easily break one pencil, but if you try to grab 50 pencils and break them, you can't do it. And that's the way we need to stand together. And they're going to do everything in their power to break our unity, including the use of law enforcement, which has been used to break up more strikes. If you know your labor history, then you can count. We have to keep our focus on what we're here for and keep our unity in the face of adversity, and we will prevail. Thank you very much.
There you go. Freedom. Yeah, right. Freedom.
Stop. Stop.
What did she do?
I need you to stop filming, sir. I need you to stop filming. Guys, girls, I need you to go ahead and keep on moving. Guys, I need you to keep on moving. Sir, you cannot be filming.
How far? Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist.
Shame on you! 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 Motherfucker, my reason. Yeah, you all film this shit! Film it! Fight for your freedom!
She's a little girl! Stop that!
Stop resisting!
You're hurting her! For no reason! Damn you!
So they can process it.
Ma'am, where are you taking her? Please let us know!
Can you take me back there record and I can wait in the room or something?
That was brutality. You guys are not human. That was brutality that you guys did to that little girl. That was a little girl. That was a little girl.
Justice! Anthony B. Equal rights. Case alone. Justice! Blood, blood.
love humanity, love humanity. Cut out your sanity, cut it out. Killing people for vanity, stop killing them for vanity.